Okay, so our next stop here then is at the Giants Playground. And immediately when we came in, we were both, Juliana was guided to a set of stones right over there. And I was also guided that that should be our first stop. Juliana and I went to go sit in that area, and she immediately started receiving some information.
Oh, it felt like at first the word queen, but I knew it wasn't queen. But what would be more of an acceptable terminology was as an overseer. It was like this is where someone looked over everything and was the guidance for the civilization that was here. And then I asked Myra why. What would I be overseeing? And behind me is a bunch of rocks, which she said are storage. And then what was in that storage? And then we're both here together in this same space as part of the Syrian nation. And she did.
I worked more as a liaison, as I often do for the Syrians, and she worked as the overseer and was also the portal for this area, and then would help to gather some of this information for me then to work with the other guardians. I was told that we worked a lot with the guardians at this time. And then, and when we sat in that little overseer area, when you look across, there's a rock over there with a little orange dot and another group of stones a little bit lower down to the left, and that's sort of a energy line area, and that energy line then feeds directly into that system, which then feeds the energy into the storage unit. This then, this energy line is how we know it connected up into the stars, and that's where we knew then we were connecting into the Syrian nation up in there. So then we walked behind it to come and see, because we were told that we were we asked why we were here to get the information, and we were told that there was a code or an activation here that we needed, and that was being held for us here in storage. And so we started to walk to the backside to go access the storage, and Juliana was like, that's not where they would keep it, and we both turned this way and saw this rock and knew that this is where we needed to go. So I crawled up into there, and as soon as I did, I tapped in, and I was handed a big flat sort of disc. Juliana got that it's like a sun disc made of iron, and then we later found out it's made of iron and copper. When they handed me this disc, and then there's also a scroll that unfolded, very, very long scroll. And then they rolled it back up, and then they half unrolled it again, and then rolled it back up. And when they did, and suddenly a portal opened up into the Andromeda galaxy, and an Andromeda then met me up there and said that they were there to guide us and help us as well. And they did some stuff, and then suddenly a ladder appeared. So we started crawling up the ladder, and we got that we were crawling up in dimensions or densities, and we went all the way up to 108, and Juliana at 108 knew she could say it.
Well, at 108, it just occurred to me about the mala practice is 108 beads, or the enlightenment of 108, and so I asked if the codes were for peace with the Lion's Gate, and she got yes.
So then we found, so they were giving us some stuff in these codes at 108 then for peace and to use for the Lion's Gate. And then we were brought back down, and then they handed me back the sun disc to hold on to, saying that I was going to need this at some point in time, where then we ran into you, and you were given you saw on the scroll that unfolded that it was coordinates, and you can talk about what you got.
Yeah, so I looked at the scroll and got coordinates in the sky. And then when I looked at the disc, I realized that it could be laid out on a compass, and I got a yes to that. And when the disc is laid out on a compass and the coordinates are put in, that it would point to a location in the sky. Amazingly enough, our very next stop is the compass.
It's
Amber's-
called Amber's Compass. I was only
Amber's
given
Compass.
2 GPS locations for all of these stones, for as much research as I tried, and so somebody was nice and gave me 2. And of course, it's for the next one is for the Amber's Compass, which happens to be right next to camp. No coincidences. And so we will head now over to Amber's Compass.